the decision is exciting, it's emotional, it's very stressful.
Without knowing how much you can buy, how much you can afford, you really shouldn't be trotting out there looking at home.
Who should you see first, the lender or the agent?
If you're buying a home for the first time, all this terminology must sound like absolute Greek, French, or whatever the hell else to you.
Don't move the money around. Don't start shopping. Don't buy the cars.
Don't buy the furniture.
Okay, go on.
Even if you try to hide something, we will find it.
That's not pretty.
And that is not pretty, exactly. You have to have enough trust in the professional team representing you.
What amount of fraud do we have nowadays in the real estate industry? Your money is on the line.
What you don't know can and will typically hurt you in a real estate transaction.
What could go wrong in the real estate transaction? My name is Galina Shekhtman. I'm your trusted realtor with 25 years of experience in our beautiful San Diego, and I'll be gladly guiding you towards your new home. So, I am ready to buy a house. What now? Well, the decision is exciting, it's emotional, it's very stressful. According to the Realtor.com, there are at least 100 steps you have to step before you're gonna come a happy new homeowner. But today, we're gonna cover just a few because I have a trusted lender in the studio. I have Ella Gurfinkel, who is my friend as well. When people are asking, I'm ready to buy a house, what is the next step? Should I see the realtor? Should I talk to the lender first? And truly, it's like the Frank Sinatra's song, Love and marriage, they go together like a horse and carriage. So you cannot be one without another. So that's the story behind it. So who should you see first, the lender or the agent? And it's also going back to the old saying or old dilemma, what came first, the egg or the chicken? Ella, thank you for joining me today. Can you please introduce yourself? What do you do and why buyers should work with you?
Oh, wow. So, love the chicken and the egg and the horse and the carriage piece because that's exactly where we find ourselves a lot. But before I jump into that, I'm Ella Gurfinkel, and I just passed my 30th anniversary in this crazy mortgage realm. And if that alone is not a reason that somebody can lean into my expertise that's been accumulated over that many years, helping buyers overcome their challenges and get into homes. But also one of the reasons to work with me, and thank you for that question, is because I give it my all. I put my heart and soul into it. I give unadulterated, blunt, very direct advice. And I'll be the first one to tell somebody that if they shouldn't buy, that they shouldn't buy, if their situation isn't right. So that is pretty much my credo. That's what I operate by. And teaching home buyers about the process is a passion and has been a passion for many, many years. And I hope it's going to be still there for many years to come.
So, Ella, the first question that arises, where should I start?
Unfortunately, the answer is very simple. You should start by getting your financials in order and talking to a lender, a professional in the lending industry. And speaking of professionals, you can always verify the credentials of the lending professional you are getting connected with. The NMLS licensing system does have public access and allows people to see a certain loan officer's history, how long they've stayed at a certain company, how many times they jump ship, and like I said, what their experience is and how long they've been there. And talking to the lender is paramount first, because without knowing how much you can buy, how much you can afford, what your payment is going to be, which is even more important, you really shouldn't be trotting out there looking at homes. But unfortunately, like I said, the answer is super simple. Start with the lender. Unfortunately, I'd say 90% of buyers tend to start with a realtor. They're hesitant to talk to a lender, and I don't understand why, and I probably never will. But they want to start with the lender, or they start with a home search online, and then the realtor will direct them to a lender, or the website where they're searching will turn them over to a lender or suggest a lender to turn over to. And that's literally the cart horse dilemma, chicken egg, or call it what you wish. Because again, why are you looking at homes without knowing whether you can afford
Much you
those
can
homes?
afford, or what is your comfortable monthly payments, or what is
Exactly.
behind the HOA? Do they have HOA? Do they have Melrose? Any other payments that are there?
Property
And-
taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance.
Exactly. And
And the online calculators don't provide the accurate info.
accurate data. Absolutely right. And I love your tip about reference the lender before you start working with any. It's a very important, not just how many years, obviously you're in the business for so many years and you have track of record. So but it's not just that. And Ella said that she gives her all, and I've worked with her, and yes. And why I love working with Ella, because I give my all. I fall in love with my clients. I'm guilty doing that.
They become our friends and our family.
And furthermore, I do tell them when you're buying a house and they laugh at me, I say it's a short-term marriage. You have to like me. You have to trust me. You have to like us. You have to trust lender. You have to trust your agent. And if you don't, I usually say it on my first appointment. You don't feel me, you don't like me, run away. It's not going to get any better.
Funny enough, I say basically the same thing, just in different terms.
Yeah.
I usually say that I'm very blunt and direct. I don't sugarcoat well. So if it's not something you're prepared to hear, then let's not waste our time jointly, because
I'm not the one for you.
You're not going to hear what you want to hear. You're going to hear what you have to hear.
And that goes both ways. So not every lender going to tell you that, and not every agent going to tell you that. You're going to drag along the half of the transaction, and then the transaction going to fall apart just because you didn't do the legwork. And I'm going back to the first and the most important step. You contacted the lender. You found the trusted lender that you contacted. Perfect. Please, I'm begging you, get all your financials ready and provide it with the short time frame as lender has requested. Ella, please fill me up on that. It's basically, we were saying that, help me to help you. I cannot help you if I don't have all the paperwork. She can't. No lender can.
Well, if you're not providing us with what we need in order to issue a quality pre-approval, meaning a pre-approval that actually will not fall apart mid-flight, mid-transaction, after you've already potentially spent money on inspections and you spend money on appraisals, which does amount to a couple of $1,000s at the end of the day. If you're not providing us with what we need, what do you expect us to do? Are we supposed to take the crowbar, break into your house, go search the attic, go search, I'll take the attic, Galina will take the basement.
Well, in Comfort, and we don't have basement, but I'll do that. That's fine.
Right, but figuratively speaking, do you expect us to find the documents that we need outside of your help?
So start the process.
To start the process, exactly. And to start the process, usually we start out on the lending side with, yes, the list may seem daunting, but the list is pretty freaking standard. You need your W-2s. You need your 30 days of pay stubs. And yes, 30 days of pay stubs, like 30 days from today counting back, not 30 days ago, and not, I'll give you a pay stub right now from like last week, and then I'll give you one from like middle of last year. No, that does not work. So 2 years of W-2s, 30 days of consecutive pay stubs, 2 months of bank statements, and that is if you're W-2 employed. If you're self-employed, be prepared to provide 2 years of tax returns, both business and personal. I've seen it way too many times where the buyers bring me the personal tax returns, and then looking at the tax returns, it turns out that, oh, wait, there is a business filing on a separate form, or forms, plural, and until I get those, and when I say I get those, I mean like the rest of us in the lending world, until we get those, we're sitting ducks, effectively. So the sooner and the more complete you provide the information to us, the better quality of your pre-approval is and the more assured the pre-approval is. We're not allowed to use terms such as guaranteed. Those usually come from regulations. And the only time you can have a guaranteed pre-approval is when your pre-approval package has actually gone through underwriting and the company legal has issued a guarantee. And yes, we do offer at Fairway, we do offer a guarantee to buy, but that's literally, you have to provide us pretty much everything we ask for in order to have a guarantee that will close on the loan or pay the seller $10K as penalty if we're not able to close due to our fault.
Summarizing the step number 1, gather all documents. I would say even include the ones that you don't think are important. Everything is important. So that's a step 1. Ella.
Let us decide.
Yeah, what is important? Exactly. Let the lender decide what is important, what is not important. You have to disclose literally everything you know about yourself.
No skeletons in the closet. No skeletons in the closet, because frankly, even if you try to hide something, we will find it. And unfortunately, if we find it later in the process, it ain't good. No, I'm not going to judge. I can only speak for myself. I'm not going to judge you on not talking about it, because some of the stuff that we uncover is sometimes embarrassing. Sometimes it's...
Nobody's perfect in this world.
Right. Sometimes it's traumatic, like a divorce can be. Nonetheless, if you don't disclose, if you don't tell us about a prior issue, we don't know.
Help you.
Exactly. We don't know how to solve the challenge. And by telling us everything up front and being fully transparent up front, you are letting us help you get into a home with minimal trouble, with minimal hiccups. And again, you have to help us to help you.
And with minimum drama.
Exactly.
So if you want a clear and smooth transaction straight from the beginning, listen to the lender. That brings
Thing 1.
That's 1. That brings me to one of the second most, well, that was the first one. Okay. One of the most important, what is the pre-qualification, pre-approval, or being underwritten. And most of the buyers have no clue of the difference. I would like you to fill us up on that. What? Okay, no. What is the pre-qual? I usually say it means nothing to me. It means nothing to the seller. It means nothing to the seller's agent. Don't even go that way. Because nobody going to look at your offer if you have pre-qualified. So what pre-qualification means versus pre-approval, and next step, underwriting.
So if you're buying a home for the first time, all this terminology must sound like absolute Greek, French, or whatever the hell else to you. And while it shouldn't, it still does. So let's lift the curtain and let's talk about what the differences are. So pre-qualification, honestly, just like Galina said, it ain't worth the paper it's written on. Nowadays, nothing is really on paper. Now everything is electronic. Well, it frankly is not worth the email that it comes across with. Because pre-qual effectively is a loan officer, whether it's a bank, a credit union, a broker, a mortgage bank, have talked to you, took your information by phone, has not reviewed your financials necessarily, has not run your information through the automated underwriting system, and basically just ran some numbers. I call it math on a napkin. Basically, they talked to you, they didn't verify much, and they issued you a pre-qual. So how do we really know? And that's why the agents are not going to accept it, is because unless we have all the documents, we really shouldn't talk numbers. And we really shouldn't tell you what you can or cannot do financially, because case in point, you're self-employed. I have a client who's under contract right now who actually started with Chase Bank. Sorry, naming names. I really probably shouldn't, but naming names.
It is what it is.
He is self-employed. Self-employed income is calculated differently. So he submitted his paperwork and his loan application to Chase. They issued him a pre-qual. What they failed to do, and they issued him a pre-qual actually for a lot more than they frickin' should have, because looking at his taxes, no, he did not qualify for the amount that they issued the pre-qual for. So would he have gone with Chase, made an offer on the home that he did, the transaction would have fallen apart about 2-3 weeks into it.
And that's not pretty.
And that is not pretty, exactly.
In the state of California, we have contingency removal not at the close of escrow, but 17 days into it, and pre-approval and loan contingency. If the seller didn't counter out for the shorter period of time, it's 17 days. You said how many? 2 to 3 weeks?
Usually
yes. So, if you removed the loan or appraisal or the loan contingency 17 days from the day of opening an escrow, you lost your security deposit, and it goes to the seller's side.
Wonderful. And California is not the only state that operates that way. There are multiple states in the union that actually also have contingency dates, like conditional approval or appraisal dates.
So I've heard 3 weeks. That's why I jumped on it. I'm sorry.
And 2 to 3 weeks is what would have taken a bank to actually uncover that the buyer does not qualify anymore. The pre-qual essentially is absolutely worthless because really either nothing has been verified or not everything has been verified and automated underwriting has not been done. And unfortunately, automated underwriting is king because for the majority of programs, whether it's conventional, FHA, VA, etc., we have to run the automated underwriting. And if we don't get an approve eligible or accept eligible findings back from it, unfortunately, we may be dead in the water on the majority of the programs because so-called manual underwriting, where a human reviews the file versus the machine, mostly does not exist with the exception of some programs. So pre-qual, if somebody's offering you a pre-qual,
Run away.
run.
Because it means nothing. It means you said, she said, who said, to whom said. It means nothing, neither to the seller's agent nor to the seller. Bottom line, you're wasting your time first and foremost. You're wasting your own time.
And most professional agents like Galina here and savvy agents like Galina here will absolutely recognize a pre-qual for what it is. It ain't worth it. And your chances of getting the house that you want with a pre-qual
Very slim to none.
Have basically tanked. So do yourself a favor. Do not do pre-quals. Always ask for a pre-approval.
Or
let's talk about the pre-approval first.
Let's talk about pre-approval first.
So the pre-approval is actually everything that I was talking about before. The pre-qual is not. A pre-approval is when we run your credit. Soft pull, hard pull, we start with a soft, but notwithstanding, always a credit pull. Your income documents, your income gets analyzed, whether you're W-2 employed or you're self-employed, we still have to analyze your income, your assets, and then everything gets input into the automated underwriting system. We get hopefully an automated approval and we match it up. We'll look at the terms of that approval from the automation to see what else we may possibly need. And that now becomes our pre-approval, meaning we have done the initial due diligence to actually send you shopping with a pretty high degree of confidence. Again, the words guaranteed are not allowed in the lending industry to the most part. I'd say 99% of the time, we cannot say that something is guaranteed.
But it's a good starting point if...
It's a minimum starting point.
It's a minimum, okay, it's a minimum starting point. And going back to the number one, if you fully disclosed everything and provided the lender with everything that I have requested within a period of time that they requested. So that's 1 and 1.5 and 2.
Amen, sister.
Amen to that. So now I want to buy a house, lender, documents, pre-qual, no, pre-approval, yes.
And we can take it, I can take that and raise you.
To the next step, yes.
To the next level, and there are actually 2 more levels of pre-approvals that can be done. Do we do them every time? The answer is no, because in some cases, frankly, we don't have to. When you're squeaky clean, the automated system loved you, you're just regular W-2 salaried employee, not an hourly employee, that's a whole other story nowadays. When you're a salaried W-2, you got the money for the down payment, your credit's fine, there is no need for me to send the file to underwriting to actually look at it and sign off on it and issue what's called an underwriting approval. Underwriter is basically another licensed individual who signs off on the documentation that you provide. And they're actually putting their license on the line when they sign off on the documents that you provide to issue the approval to certify to the ultimate lender that this loan actually has the ability to repay. My license follows every single loan. The underwriter's license follows every single loan. The realtor's license follows every transaction.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we are being watched and tracked on that, by the way. So underwriting approval, why does it come into play or where does it come into play? It's come into play on a few of our transactions where you're in a multiple offer situation and saying and showing that the file has been underwritten, meaning you've been completely vetted at that point. And almost completely vetted, minus the appraisal, minus the title report. that is an indication to the seller that not only are you serious, but it's to the
You're-
seller, you are eons above and ahead everybody
Yes.
else making an offer who's only pre-approved because your stuff, your financials have already been reviewed and signed off on. Again, like I said, if you're squeaky clean, we don't necessarily do the whole underwriting pre-approval unless it's a very competitive market, unless you're in a situation where there are multiple offers, then we will go through the underwriting process in order to give you the competitive edge and advantage.
Very true. As an agent, I can write my client are fully underwritten and we can close in 2 to 3 weeks.
Easy.
So if the sellers are in a hurry and they're looking through the offers and all offers, or for example, 2 or 3 offers are pretty compatible and I am concentrating on that again. And if the seller is in the hurry and you have similar offers, one closing 4 or 5 weeks from today and another one could close in 2 weeks and you have the buyers underwritten, who would you choose?
That's not a trick question.
No, it is not. That's a real life questions.
Exactly. So taking that underwriting approval to the top level, because frankly, there's nothing else above it, is the guaranteed approval. The legal department actually issues the guaranteed letter. And again, as a loan officer, I cannot state that the loan has been through underwriting if it hasn't. That's just simply illegal. So the guaranteed approval, the purchase guarantee, not every company actually offers this. There's only a handful of companies, I believe, nationwide who do the purchase guarantees. And Fairway happens to be one of them. And it takes the whole underwriting the file to actually the next level. When the company issues the purchase guarantee, we are putting our name on the line. That's why that guarantee comes from our legal department. Because if we fail to close on this loan per the contract date, we will pay the seller $10,000, or we can offer them a choice of Fairway buying their house. So yes, we're going to cross the T's, dot the I's, so we don't have to do that, obviously. Are we going to wiggle out of it? No, we are going to do everything by the book. But not only does the underwriter have to sign off on all the normal stuff, if you're getting gift money, for example, for your purchase, typically gift funds is something that we reserve to the very end of the transaction. With a purchase guarantee, the gift funds have to be verified up front. With a purchase guarantee, the only items that are allowed to be left hanging are your purchase contract on the property, title report, insurance, and appraisal. That's it. Everything else, income, assets, employment history, whatever else, credit issues in the background, everything else has to be cleared, signed off, and ready to go. And that purchase guarantee is in place for a certain period of time. And if that time lapses, unfortunately, we have to go back to underwriting and sign everything off again. With the purchase guarantee, you're effectively competing against cash buyers. And that's what really it is meant for. I'm not saying that you have to do it every time, since we've switched more to a buyer's market in most places, sort of, kind of. Depends on location. Disclaimers.
There very slowly.
But when there is multiple offers on the table, the purchase guarantee is going to win versus a pre-qual versus even a pre-approval. So that is an option. And a 2-week close.
2-week close.
Or
and
less.
Sometimes agents are choosing underwritten clients over the cash buyers. Do you know why? Because cash buyers usually try to negotiate the lower price, so there is no reason for the seller to choose the cash buyer with the lower amount offered, if they can choose the underwritten buyer, with the full offer price or whatever the cases are.
Because basically we can, like I said, close in 10 to 14 days.
Yeah.
And
so
it's basically
the same time of closing, yes, and the buyer is guaranteed.
So we've basically beat the pre-approval types into a pulp at this point. But there is a reason why we're talking in such detail about it. Because, again, I've stepped into rescue files multiple times when pre-quals were not worth diddly. And and or even when pre-approvals were not worth diddly. So it is important to pick who you work with, the level of professionalism, and the level of trust. So trust but verify.
What is the topic of today, right? I'm ready to buy a house. What now? So what now? Now you know paperwork, and then you have 4 options with your pre-approvals. So you have something to think about before you going to the open houses every weekend.
Exactly.
One more little thing. And briefly, you already talked about that. What could go wrong in the real estate transaction, literally every step, the first week, the second week, the third week, if we're going to go to that point? So again, if in the perfect world, the seller has provided the lender with everything that has been requested within 24 to 48 hours, hypothetically. So the file is down your alley. So you have the file.
Oh boy, that is a loaded question indeed, because honestly, anything and everything can go wrong. But the typical culprits, we find out that IRS taxes weren't paid or are on a payment plan. Very few buyers fully disclose that. And we find out by pulling transcripts a lot of times that, oh crap, there is taxes due. Now, we do try to ask the question up front when we see the tax returns, and we don't ask for the tax returns actually on your, again, normal W-2 employed transactions. So sometimes we have no way of knowing. So now we try to ask if you owe any taxes, because that can derail things.
Help me to help you. Disclose anything and everything that you know about yourself since the minute you were born, so the lender can make a decision, do they need that information or not, like this one.
Preach, sister. Seriously. What goes wrong? That's, again, one of the more vivid examples on the lending side. On the lending/real estate side, we're pushing, once you go into that contract, once you found a house, made an offer, the seller accepted the offer, or you went back and forth in a counter. Once we have the executed contract, all systems are a go, pedal to the metal, because the clock is ticking. We usually have a finite date to close by, and it's not a date to be screwed around with.
And I always tell my buyers, get prepared. The first week, and that's again why being fully pre-approved or underwritten is more important than ever, because you, as a buyer, have 1 week of heavy loads. You're going to receive emails, you're going to receive text messages, you're going to receiving titles, you're going to receiving escrow paperwork. You will have to wire the money within the first 3 days to the escrow. You will have so much to do, you'll forget the paperwork that you need to provide to the lender. Why am I saying it all the time? Because the first step is extremely important.
The more you provide up front, the less we will ask for on the back end.
Later. So and the less surprises you're going to have either the first or second week in the transaction.
Exactly. So one of the things that has been fairly common lately, not specifically in San Diego, but throughout the country, because I'm licensed in 8 different states, and that's been transactions falling out on home inspections.
I read last week about 80% fell out of escrow in January. I am not sure if it's a clear data or it's somebody speculating.
I think it's overblown.
I think it's overblown.
The one I saw was 1 in 4 nationwide with some states.
Nationwide, I'm talking, yeah, okay.
So 1 in 4 says 25%.
Yeah, 25%.
But that was December, I think, and it was, I think it was December, and I think it was also when the rates were shifting lower.
Right.
So we don't know how much of it was really falling out because of people getting cold feet and wanting a lower rate. Exactly.
But still, you know,
1 in 4, that's a lot.
It could mean nothing, but if you one of those 4, that it means a lot to you. You fell out of escrow.
Yep. It's every 4th. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's still a lot.
That's, again, transactions fall out based on inspection. It doesn't affect your pre-approval. It still stands. You just move on to a different property. But again, from the lending standpoint, buyers not having enough money, that's another one that comes up.
Or they spend
they spent the money that they had.
No, Ella.
Yes.
Ella, one. I cannot. I always say this is the most important stuff. What were you saying? Don't move the money around. Don't start shopping. Don't buy the cars.
Don't buy the furniture.
Okay, go on.
Don't open new credit. I mean, that 10 to 15 to 20% discount at a department store is going to save you about $20. Okay, maybe $200. But come on, every time you open your credit, and we do verify that towards the end,
It's going to hurt you.
That's going to hurt you. It will drop your score potentially, and or it will affect your debt to income ratio, meaning you may no longer qualify. And I've had people buy furniture before they close, so I had them go back and return the furniture.
And that's painful.
That is very painful.
Ouch.
So yeah, you may have the furniture now, but not the house to put that furniture in. Is that something you really want?
And it's not funny. I mean, I'm sorry.
I mean, it is not funny, but it's true.
real life. It's again real life.
Yeah.
So Ella, I wanted to spell out: don't move the money around
Without talking to the lender. Do not change jobs without talking to the lender. Do not quit your job before closing thinking that you're already verified. No, we re-verify at the end. And that's been known to happen, as a matter of fact. Because let me tell you a story. I had a buyer mid-flight. I don't think I ever told you that one.
I don't think so.
Where the buyer changed jobs mid-transaction, sat in my office just like you and I are sitting across from each other, and didn't say anything. About 2 weeks prior to closing, I brought it up again that we can't have you changing jobs.
Is that clear?
Is that clear? Yes. Find out the next day because she spilled the beans to the agent that she changed jobs. But in her mind,
would have verified it towards then. They would find out. I mean, what is the point of hiding something?
I mean, we lost the deal. Effectively, we lost the transaction. We had to deny a loan because in her mind, she was doing the same damn thing that she was doing before. She got a new job, didn't tell us about it, but the original job that the qualification was based on, she went to part-time status there too. So effectively, she had two part-time jobs. In her mind, she was still working 40 hours a week. Literally, just mic drop. Nothing to say. So things like this, please do ask before you make any drastic changes, because what you don't know can and will typically hurt you in a real estate transaction. We talked about not opening new credit. We talked about, again, not changing jobs, not moving money around. Do not co-sign for anybody. Pretty please,
for God's sake,
while you are shopping for a house or as you are in a transaction, do not co-sign for anybody. I'm not saying do not co-sign for anybody in general. I'm saying
at this period of time frame.
Exactly.
Just freeze everything from your pre-approval date till the closing date. Just put everything else in the back burner, freeze it.
Because you know what? I've heard, and the reason I bring up the no co-signing, because that's very real. If I had a buck every time, I've heard this from buyers over the 30 years that I've been doing this, I would have a pretty penny sitting in the bank right now. We went and co-signed for a car for our daughter, but the car dealership told us that it doesn't affect our credit, it doesn't go on our credit.
It does.
It just, we are, she's the primary one. We're just the secondary. Guys, girls, everybody, you sign on a dotted line on any type of a credit instrument, you are responsible. Second, third, 10th, you are still responsible. And doing that will kill your loan pre-approval faster than a speeding bullet.
Don't buy cars. Don't buy boats.
Furniture.
Don't buy furniture. Don't, like, literally nothing. Freeze.
Another one of my favorites. Finding out mid-flight, mid-deal, mid-transaction, days out from closing, that, oh, by the way, we're going out of town.
Oh, that's another favorite one. We've planned this vacation a year ago. I'm excited. I'm with you. Some deals, if you're not flying internationally,
we'll send a mobile notary.
We'll send the mobile notary there. But if you're flying internationally or
all bets are off.
Touring on the boat,
cruising, all bets are off. I mean, it's doable, but it's complicated as all get up and costly too. So again, if you have travel plans and you are entering into a real estate transaction, pray to God
that it
closes before you leave. But even more importantly, I'm begging you, please tell us ahead of time when you're planning to travel. Because I can't tell you again enough times I ran into, oh, by the way, that week of closing, we're going to be at XYZ location. I'm like, hello? And what am I supposed to do with that?
And again, if that's information disclosed soon enough,
we can plan around it.
We can postpone the closing 1 week.
or
We
move it
can do
up.
early closing, right?
We can work with the knowns, but working with the unknowns, honestly, and when I
unreal.
say I am that blunt and direct, yes, working with the unknowns, it's not just me. Yes, I'm blunt and direct, but
No, it's not.
every lender and every realtor
Every
will
realtor.
freaking hate you for pulling that rug from under us
Yeah.
in mid-process. Sorry, guys. Seriously, that's like the biggest cardinal sin, not telling us that you're leaving town in the middle of transaction.
Minute number 1 of this video, disclose
Everything
that you know, including your planned vacations, if they fall the part where you think you'll be in the transaction.
When in doubt, go back to minute number 1.
Exactly. Provide everything.
And provide everything and over disclose.
There is no such a thing as over disclosing.
Nope.
And again, let the lender decide what is over disclosing. What do they need to use?
The questions just keep coming.
They real stories questions.
And from my end, it's like I said, what is my first payment? Where do I make my payment? How do I make my payment? Can I make auto pay? Can I do biweekly? Oh, I got this pile of crap in the mail and it's all scary and it says final notice or something scary. It's like, no, that's spam. So just take a picture, send it to me. I will confirm it's spam and keep on sending it to me if you have any questions, because most likely 99% of the time it is freaking spam.
And another spam, oftentimes buyers asking me, I received some paperwork. It's either pink or yellow envelope and they saying that I have to pay for my deed of trust. Do not pay to anyone. Screenshot, send it to me. No, it's a spam. Not $10, not $15. They
It's
want
free.
money on you. It's free.
And you don't need an original or a certified copy for that matter.
Exactly.
Ever. So anybody offering you whatever protections or whatever copies that are certified or otherwise,
Spam.
that is just, it's spam. It's
Shred,
just,
junk.
round file.
Whatever. Yeah.
I sort my mail over the trash can anymore.
Yeah. What haven't we covered?
What's next? Pre-approval?
Underwriting, the transaction. We went through the escrow. I don't want to I'm here with you talk to more on the loan side of the file. I don't want to get into with titles and inspections and requests.
That's like topic for a whole other video, to be honest, because that can be a whole hour conversation just on that side.
Again, yes.
But as far as getting ready to buy, you've decided to buy. What to watch out for, besides the fact that you need your financials, you need the pre-approval, at least a pre-approval, if not an underwriting approval. And circling back to that, actually, I've mentioned that on a run-of-the-mill or what we refer to as vanilla file, meaning somebody who's super squeaky clean. There is usually no point to go through underwriting unless it's a competing situation, and we need that just to strengthen the offer. However, if there is anything iffy, if there is any hiccups, if there is any job history issues, or maybe credit challenges, or maybe income challenges, then I always recommend, let's put it together. Let's send it through underwriting. Let's get it verified. Let's get it cleaned up. We'll know exactly what we need so you can shop in confidence, because yes, even though I've been doing it pretty much all of my adult life, there are plenty of situations, because the guidelines keep on changing, meaning the rules of engagement. They're constantly changing. I'm not a walking, talking encyclopedia. Let's send it in and let's get a higher authority, meaning the underwriter. Take a peek at it, sign off on it, and make sure that you're golden before you go shopping for a home. Because last thing I want to do is have your deal fall apart
in the middle of the transaction.
Exactly.
That's the worst thing that
I'd rather tell you now, before you go shop, that, you know what, this XYZ issue or challenge needs to be dealt with first, and this is how long it's going to take us to deal with it, or this is how we're going to address it before you go shop for a home. So maybe let's put off shopping for a home for a bit, but let's do it right instead of fools rushing in.
And you know why? Because, as I said, the first 2 weeks, especially the first one, is you're going to have a full load of bunch of emails and information flowing your inbox. On the top of that, you will have to do all the inspections. You're going to receive the title report. And if you fall apart because the loan could not go through in the middle of transactions, all the money that you spent for any of the inspections that you have chosen and for the appraisal goes down the roof. And that's it. And that could be a couple $1,000s. It's a
easily
couple $1,000.
Yep. Out of your pocket, out the door, down the drain.
Yes, you might go to the next house and you could be more pre-approved and more ready but this amount of money is gone.
So we'd rather you come prepared fully before you start house hunting
And going
and
shopping
knowing
over the weekends,
exactly.
it's fun. I admit, I love going to see the open houses. But this is not your hobby. If you're planning to buy a house, make it a priority. Do the right way and do the right things.
Among other things, and this is why we keep pounding the same thing over and over again.
Yep.
Because it's literally, I feel like I'm sitting here with a mallet, just kind of going,
Documents,
bam, 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 documents, documents, documents. Well, on a serious note, there's more to it than meets the eye, not just in terms of being ready and being pre-approved. But the last thing we want to do is have you go look at homes at the open houses on the weekend, fall in love with $1 million home, only to realize that you cannot swing it. You're not pre-approved. That's not only breaks your heart, it's painful as all get up. But what it also does is, how do I say that?
Raised your bar
So high.
And it's not bad that you like the nice property.
Right, but you can only afford this.
It just hurts you because for weeks, some people, very emotional people, they could not go and shop, for another house because they fell in love with that one.
And unfortunately, even even a $20,000 difference in a home sometimes, depends on location, of course, but even a $20,000 in the purchase price of the home will make a hell of a difference in the quality, in the amenities, in the finishes.
In the area, in
everything.
So many little and big things are involved in the purchase.
Exactly. So going out and looking at homes like a hobby instead of going out and looking at home with confidence, you're looking at the homes that you can afford, the homes that you can buy, instead of getting your heart set on this and then having to come down to here. And you know what? 50% of the time, buyers have done that I've worked with. They got so discouraged by being pre-approved for this instead of this. They stopped searching.
That's what I just said.
And I don't want you to do that. No, they've stopped searching entirely, period.
Yes, that's what I was saying too. You just stop because you're very discouraged.
Exactly.
You're disappointed, you're mad, you're angry, but to go back to the beginning of the movie, it's all up on you.
I was just going to say, the only party to be mad or angry at
it's yourself.
Is yourselves. Now, here is something else that's really important before you step out and start the house hunting process. And I can't drill this one enough into everybody that I talk to when it comes to buyers. Being pre-approved is hella important. That is probably one of the most important things, bar none. But even more important is knowing what your payment is going to be. Because you may be pre-approved for $1 million.
Yes, but you're not comfortable with your monthly payment.
You're not comfortable with your monthly payment.
So it's 3 components: able, willing, and ready.
Yep.
And be comfortable with your payments because, as you said, there are different levels of down payments.
Yep.
And you might be pre-approved for $1 million home, and if you're FHA 3.5%, so your monthly mortgage payment could be so high that you can afford it. So we're going back to the step 1.
If you've ever seen me speak, or if you've ever ran across me as a client, you probably have heard me say that the last thing I want to do is have you become house rich and cash poor. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to buy a house and then to afford the house have to be relegated to eating ramen and cat food. I know, gross. On a serious note, there is a reason behind what I say. Because a lot of times when you go to a big box bank, no names this time, and they issue a pre-approval, rarely do they ever actually tell you. They just give you the amount. So off you go shop. Rarely do they tell you that this pre-approval level will yield this payment. Again, multiple times over my career, and more so in the last couple of years, I've had people come to me and say, my bank pre-approved me to this. We went out, we put an offer in, then we found out what the payment was going to be, and we had to back out because the payment was too damn high. So the conversation should start not just with how much, but rather how much per month. because that's what's going to drive the amount that you can qualify for. And that's the homes that you should be looking at.
That's the house where you're going to be happy, not house poor, like Ella said, and sitting and scraping pennies and, on food. So to summarize, you're ready to buy a house. It is an exciting moment in your life. It is very emotional. Your money is on the line.
It's
your
stressful.
families. It's stressful as hell.
I mean,
It's fun.
It's fun,
It's
but
exciting. But when
even
you're fully ready,
even my hands were shaking, signing on the dotted line when buying my first place.
Yes.
And I was already doing this. I was already in the profession. And yet my hands were literally shaking at escrow at closing.
I'm shaking now,
because it was like, oh my God, that is such a huge freaking commitment.
It is.
And the second home, we sold that one, bought another one, same thing.
I tell my clients.
So I understand. I get it.
It's not a pair of shoes. It's not even a car. It's a house you cannot return in the next day. Deal with it.
Think about it. Sleep on it.
Sleep on it. Think about it.
Take a pause. Take a breath.
Yes, take a breath. If you want to see it another time, I'm here for you.
You need to see the numbers again? Let us know.
To the lender. Yeah, we are here for you.
We work for you.
We work. You hiring us to work for you. We guiding you every single little step of the way, every single minute of the transaction.
Let me rephrase that. We are not the enemy. We are your friend. We are your first line of defense. Anything you say to us stays confidential. I usually will compare us, appropriate or not, honestly don't care anymore. But I will compare us to a doctor, a lawyer, or a priest. Whatever you say to us, we're not going to overshare. It's private info. So talk to us. If you're anxious.
Yes.
You know how many times we both have played shrink? If you have any doubts, literally, talk to us. If you have to, if you're not comfortable with the payment.
We are people. We are people.
Like I said, it's okay to feel anxious. We'll be your shrink. We'll be your biggest cheerleader.
We are shrinks.
We are shrinks. We are, we're your cheerleaders. We're your guides on this home buying adventure. Any title you want to assign to us, bring it. I'll take it. But I think the bottom line, the absolute bottom line is, besides being prepared, is that you have to have enough trust in the professional team representing you, that you can have an honest conversation, that you can trust the team with your personal information. Because if you're scared to tell us as professionals about your prior financial misgivings, like I said, we don't judge.
Choose the wrong professionals.
Or the timing isn't right.
Or the timing isn't right for you.
It's like going to a doctor when you're sick and not telling them what hurts. Honestly, think about it.
True.
So if you come to us and you hire us for a specific purpose, which is to get you into a home, but you're not sharing and not trusting us with the information that is vital for your success in the endeavor,
we cannot help them.
We can't help you. End of story. So if you take anything away from this video, be prepared, choose your team carefully, and be prepared to work with a team as a team player, because we are. And that's our job, to be your team, your support, and to be in your corner before you buy, while you buy, and after you buy. And we're going to be here for years more. I'm speaking for the both of us.
Yep.
Because we're both lifers, honestly.
Yes.
That's what we do. That's
You're
what we
30,
love.
I'm 25. Come on.
That's what we love. We live and breathe real estate and mortgages. I'm not knocking part-time people down.
Yeah.
There are some good part-time people out there too. But if you want the best representation, both in mortgage and real estate, work with the full-time professionals who've dedicated their lives and careers to it.
And time.
Because we don't get paid until it closes.
A lot of people don't realize that neither the agent nor the lender has being paid till the transaction is fully closed.
Yes, it's our jobs. And yes, this is how we make our living.
That's what,
But no, we don't see you as dollar signs or a paycheck.
Absolutely not.
When we are working with you. The paycheck comes at the end.
As a reward.
As a reward. But we put our hearts and souls into what we do on a daily basis.
And we are here with you every minute and every single step of the way. till you're happy. We're here to make you happy and safe in your new home.
Ideally. But that is the goal. Thank you so much for having me. This was a fun convo. I love it. This is one of my favorite topics because the importance of it is just
I
top of
cannot
the line.
stress enough the importance of the first few steps because, again, I'm going back again. If you are clicking the internet and every single site and you're going to see homes over the weekend, that should be somewhere during the middle of your searches, not in the beginning. Your beginning should start either with lender or with agent. What I usually do, I have either Ella on Zoom with us while I'm in the buyer's presentation, or if you come to me pre-approved, I'll gladly take you in my hands and guide you towards. Ella, it was such a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
As usual, I guess we addressed a lot of questions, and especially, I am ready to buy a house. What now?
And now you know.
With all my heart, Galina Shekhtman and
Ella Gurfinkel.